Welcome to Voices Against Violence, a Harmony House podcast to educate, empower, and serve as a voice for survivors. We aim to shed light on crucial issues surrounding domestic violence, offer support, and inspire action for change. Join us as we work together to create a community where all individuals can live a life free of abuse.
Welcome back to Voices Against Violence. My name is Kirsten. I'm the Assistant Executive Director at Harmony House.
I'm Charity. I'm the Prevention Program Manager at Harmony House. And we have another fantastic community partner in the room with us today, Jamie and Courtney from the Greene County Family Justice Center. Welcome to Voices Against Violence.
Thank you so much for having us.
They even speak in unison. Oh my gosh. This is going to be great. We'll get the podcast done in half the time. Welcome, Greene County Family Justice Center. I'm so thrilled that you all are here because we work with you all so closely. I'm surprised we haven't had you on before. Okay. Welcome to the podcast, Greene County Family Justice Center.
Yes, Greene County, we call it the FJC. We want to know all the things, but start with telling us a little bit about your roles at the Greene County Family Justice Center. Jamie?
Sure. My name is Jamie Willis. I'm the director of the Greene County Family Justice Center. And along with Courtney here, we kind of manage our community's collective effort to address domestic violence. So along with managing just the day-to-day operations of the Family Justice Center, also all of our community's like big long-term strategic planning for how we address domestic violence and family violence as a community.
Yes, and I am Courtney Smart. I'm the program coordinator at the Family Justice Center. I work with Jamie on mostly our day-to-day operations, just making sure our flow of services and everything turns out well and providing support to our direct service staff while working on all of those long-term things.
Okay, that all sounds really impressive, and there's a lot to talk about with it because what is a Family Justice Center? Can we start there?
Let's start there.
I'm thinking about our listeners who are like, wow, that's cool. What does that mean?
Begin at the beginning.
Yeah,
What's a Family Justice Center?
So the Family Justice Center is a collaborative model of providing services for domestic violence, sexual violence, child abuse and neglect, elder abuse, human trafficking, really any power-based violence. And the idea is that survivors have a lot to navigate when they are ready to ask for help. And so any help that they can get in making services more accessible, more coordinated, more comprehensive is really helpful. So we are kind of like a one-stop shop of all of our local victim service agencies in one place so that survivors can come and learn about all the services that are available and then have one person, which we call a navigator, help them navigate all of those services. So really the main idea of it is that it's very survivor-led, so they get to choose what they feel like is a best fit for them without having to like jump through all the hoops of like finding transportation to each of those other areas and navigating like, if I tell this person what's going to happen, and, because when you are ready to ask for help, timing is such an important part of that. Do you have anything to add, Courtney?
I would say that because we're so survivor-led, we will never pressure anyone into doing anything. We'll never try to talk anyone. We don't require them to participate with the criminal system. We don't require them to follow up with really any of the services that they receive. We're just there to support where they are in that moment, meet them where they are. If they need to come back at a later time and pick back up, we'll never judge for that. They're always welcome back to us.
Who are some of the agencies that are there? You said it's a one-stop shop. So yes. Who's there?
Well, Harmony House is there. Probably the largest presence at the Family Justice Center is our partners at Harmony House, which is our local domestic violence shelters for non-local listeners. We also have legal services on site, Burl, which is our community behavioral health center, law enforcement, prosecutor's office, children's division, which is like child protective services. Mm-hmm. We have child support services on site too. So the goal is really anything that affects a survivor's life, which is everything, right. Housing, legal, thinking about your kids, all of those things they can get at the Family Justice Center.
And it's designed to provide services at any point. So even if they're just collecting information about what is an abusive relationship and am I in a domestic violence situation versus someone who's like, I need to leave right now, I need to get everything in line. We have all of the services there to support that, and people who are experiencing post-separation coercive control as well. They can always come back and get supportive services with us.
I was surprised to learn. So before coming to Harmony House, I didn't know about the Family Justice Center and was surprised to learn that it's the only one in the entire state of Missouri, and not every state has one. How did this happen?
Yeah, well, I will say in the Family Justice Center world, we always talk about how it's such a simple idea, but very complex to actually implement. Yes. So our journey here in Greene County started back in 2012. There had been some recent increases in violent crime in the community. As the community was discussing, like, where is this violent crime coming from? The majority of that was an increase in domestic violence. And so we already had some partnerships between local agencies, but we formalized that with the creation of the Family Violence Task Force. And they started looking at, different best practices and how do we better support survivors. And so the Family Justice Center model we started looking at around 2014. And then, there's costs involved with starting a Family Justice Center, and so everyone was on board, but we didn't really have the resources to make it happen yet. So in 2017, at the end of that year, there was a ballot initiative for a general revenue tax increase, and as part of that, there was funds set aside for a public safety initiative to serve or to be managed by local law enforcement and the prosecutor's office. And so once that budget was passed, our elected prosecutor, Dan Patterson, said, I really want to use these funds to start a Family Justice Center. So we started planning really in January, February of 2018, once our budget was approved, had a strategic planning with tons of different agencies. I think 52 different agencies were represented across our community.
Wow.
And then we opened in October of 2018, so less than a year later. It came together very, very fast.
Wow.
We initially were in a 3,000 square foot space inside of our county's courthouse, which is not the most trauma-informed space, but we were like, we're going to start small, we're going to build this up, and then less than a year later, we bought our now permanent facility, and so we're currently in a standalone facility that's about 21,000 square feet.
So when you're describing the one-stop shop and all of the different collaborators who come together in that space that you're describing now, do you notice that there is a service or an agency that folks want to utilize the most often?
For sure. I think that a few of our most sought after services are definitely legal aid, representation for things like ex partes, full orders of protection, custody, divorce, all of those things. I would say that's probably our number one. Number two is going to be assistance with filing ex partes, both adult and child ex partes, providing court support. We have navigators who attend ex parte court every week to be able to be there for petitioners or even respondents who might need a little extra support there. And then I would say probably shelter with Harmony House are definitely, I would say, the most common needs that we see in our clients.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Harmony House, legal services, and then also Burl is another big one. Yes. Many of our clients, they provide a lot of community support, so connection to like Medicaid, right. Food assistance, housing assistance. They partner with One Door, which is our local homelessness organization, so they can do the assessment for that because unfortunately domestic violence is a leading cause of homelessness for women and children. So in addition to counseling, they offer counseling too. So that's another big one.
And we know that reducing barriers for folks creates better outcomes. I wonder if you all would speak to like what are the enhanced outcomes that you all see because we have an FJC?
Sure. Well, I like to divide it into three different categories. First, for survivors, it increases accessibility. We provide free transportation, which is a big part of that, in addition to just like everything being in one place. The emotional support that navigators provide as well, and the relationships that we have as partners really makes survivors a lot more comfortable accessing things like law enforcement. You know, our team is specially trained. They're domestic violence detectives. And so it's just a more trauma-informed way to approach the criminal justice system with survivors. In addition, survivors are more physically safe if they come through the Family Justice Center model. They are less likely to experience fear and anxiety, more likely to feel empowered and supported by their community. Long term, they're more likely to want to participate in the criminal justice system, because often it's not that they don't want to participate, it's that there's so many barriers to being able to safely do that. And so we hope to eliminate those barriers so that we can hold offenders accountable. For service providers, we learn a lot from each other. We hold each other accountable, which is sometimes difficult but important. And then we also do a lot of cross-training between teams. And so we have a really good idea of where each of our agencies sit in the big picture and what our roles are, which I think is helpful for survivors, but also for us in our professions. And then for the community, long-term, communities have seen reductions in domestic homicide rates, which before we opened, in the 5 years prior to us opening, our community, over a third of homicides were domestic in nature. And so that's a really large proportion of homicides. So that was something that we were really thinking about coming into it. Also, you know, domestic violence offenders also commit other crimes. And so being able to hold them accountable also helps with those other things too, the other safety issues in the community. And then when families are supported, they're able to be more productive and more like present members of their community, right? And so when you think about like in the workplace, how domestic violence affects the workplace, not only safety-wise, but also how much missed work survivors have from navigating all those things. So really, I mean, domestic violence is so...
it's far-reaching in scope, right?
Yes, but like we don't talk about it. Right. So, you know, in Missouri, 41.3%, I think is what it is, over 40% of women experience domestic violence or stalking in their lifetime. I mean, that's nearly half. Right. But like there's so much shame associated with it that we don't talk about it. And so it affects our entire community. And people don't realize that.
Well, and I mean, those benefits of the outcomes just go on and on. It's the acute benefits of, you know, survivors feeling less shame and having better outcomes. And then there's the community benefits as well of those outcomes. So this has got to be like a best practice, right? Like having an FJC. So, I mean, where did these come from? How did this idea start? How did these come to be?
Well, the first Family Justice Center opened in 2003 in San Diego, and their district attorney, Casey Gwynn, initially started co-locating agencies inside the prosecutor's office because he was a young prosecutor. He was like, why won't survivors talk to me? And they're like, because we can't safely do it. We have all of these other needs. And by the time that we get to you, like, we're already back in the home because, you know, we didn't get the social support that we need. Right. And so he started bringing in, like, advocates from the local shelter to be present. And after the first Family Justice Center started in 2003, their success was pretty wild, pretty immediately. And so in 2005, there was a President's Family Justice Center initiative that provided $20 million to start 15 pilot Family Justice Centers. Whoa. And the longitudinal research out of that is really incredible. In the first 10 years, San Diego saw a 90% reduction in domestic homicides, which is wild. So, the idea spread quickly, and you know, California has an entire network of family justice centers. I wish we had that here. But you know, West Coast, East Coast, they're pretty prominent, and we're just kind of getting the idea.
Get the trends a little bit later. Yeah,
it's a little bit later, but hopefully, you know, we'll have other family justice centers in Missouri soon.
Yeah. I knew it was San Diego. I just wanted to shout out my hometown. So I appreciate it. Okay, so we've got listeners who are folks in victim services. We've got community members. We've got survivors listening. We've got folks who support survivors listening, who are, just folks who care about them. So can you talk us through, do we make an appointment? How does this work?
So all of our services are provided on a walk-in basis, Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4 o'clock. So whenever someone is available within those times, they're welcome to come in. When they first come in, they're going to meet with one of our navigators. And the navigators will explain, our confidentiality protections. Everything that they talk about is confidential with the navigator. There are some exceptions, like being a mandated reporter,
right.
But for the most part, everything that they say until they sign a release, that navigator is not going to disclose to anyone else in the building that they are there. So it is a safe place. They can come in, they can say whatever they want, and be connected to whoever they want. Our navigators are amazing. They are really well trained, and they are experts in safety planning and the complex dynamics of domestic violence. So they really understand even those crazy things that people have been through, that they're like, no one will believe me. We believe you. We want to hear your story. We want to get you the help and support that you need. They are welcome to access whoever they want in the building when they're there. Sometimes our partners do need to set up appointments at another time, but for the most part, everything can be done that same exact day. And we'll go at the pace of what the client is looking for. So if they're in the middle of it and they're like, wow, this is really overwhelming, I wasn't prepared for this. Let's put a pin in it. Let's take a breath. Maybe we come back tomorrow and pick up where we left off. And all of our navigators are able to provide the same services. And so you can come in the next day, meet with someone totally different, and you're going to still get the same quality of service that you got the previous day.
Excellent.
And a big part of that too is that I think it's important for people to know is it really is a non-judgmental space. We're ready to meet you wherever you're at. So we have people that come in that, literally just have questions about is this domestic violence? I feel crazy. And they're not ready to do anything. And we can safety plan with them on how to stay safe in their home with their abuser. What do we do if things escalate? What if weapons get involved? What do we do in an emergency? We can talk through that all the way to we have clients that come in and cannot go home that day and we have to figure something out. So, and it's entirely up to them.
And it's all survivor centered and led.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yes.
I think my final question as we begin to wrap up this conversation. So you're doing incredible work in the community, but this is hard work. And I'm wondering how you take care of yourself. How do you balance compassion fatigue? How do you navigate all of that?
I would say it definitely hits at points. For me personally, as a program coordinator, when I am looking at everything and it goes right, we hit all of the marks, we got the ex parte, bad guy got arrested, he's served with the ex parte while he's in jail, we get her into shelter, everything, it's so incredible to watch. It really is, we talk about it all the time, it's magical, you get the chills. Right. So as a program coordinator, I get so proud of my team all the time, that it reminds you that we're doing really good work, we're doing important things, and we're saving lives. As a survivor, I also see those things, and it has healed little parts of me that probably wouldn't have been healed on my own. So getting to see other people get that care and that compassion really reminds me we're all in this together. We all have a story. We all have a background. And the more support, the more community that we build, and the more that we talk about it, the more normal it is, the less intimidating it is to get services. And the more we're able to address those barriers and those issues that we see in our community. So I think just staying focused on the future, the long term, things will get better. It might be a little bit bad right now, but that is just how life goes.
What a hope-filled answer.
I was going to say, I read books. To add to that, my background was not in victim services. It was more in community development and, that type of stuff. And so, my education was based in inequality, gender inequality. So I knew all of these things existed, but seeing it every day is a lot different. And so in the first few months, I really struggled with that. And I had a little bit of a moment in a meeting with a partner agencies where I was really feeling discouraged. And the lieutenant of Springfield Police Department at the time pulled me aside after and said, Jamie, you have got to take care of yourself. This is important work. We need you in it. And that really hit me in and it really changed the way that I viewed my work and how I needed to navigate through that. And so when things are heavy, I do think stepping back and looking at the big picture, also how far we've come in 8 years is incredible. But we also provide all of our clients with exit surveys, and there's just a really general question at the end that says, is there anything else you'd like to share with our management team? And the things that survivors write.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, sometimes I just go take a look at that.
Can you share any, what are some of the things that they say?
I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for you, or
there's a lot of you've given me hope. I have hope to move forward. And that is really, I think, the important part, because hope is measurable. It is going to point to, better life outcomes, positive life outcomes. It's, you can measure it. And so giving someone that piece of hope to go with them is all right, we did a good thing today.
Or people have said, if I would have known that this existed, I would have done this a long time ago. I've been to a bunch of different places. I've never felt as seen and supported, which really speaks to how amazing our team is. Yeah. If you've ever worked in customer service, it's hard to get. It's hard. Feedback is hard.
Yes.
And we don't ever have bad feedback. Yes. I mean, our what I call satisfaction rate of services is over 99%. It's 99.7% or something crazy
goodness.
that.
And what you're talking about of if you've ever worked in customer service, I think about the times when I've offered feedback, and it's generally when I've had an unpleasant experience. I'm not usually sitting down to fill out the raves, right?
That's true.
It's a bad experience. And so the fact that folks are saying such positive things. Okay, I'm taking mental notes of how you're caring for yourself. You're caring for yourself by one, just acknowledging your own story in things and the growth in yourself. You're taking your time. The part that Jamie stood out to me about your answer is the accountability from your colleague, from your partner agency, who said, I'm noticing this in you.
And law enforcement, no less, which they're usually tough guys,
right?
And don't talk about their feelings.
That took some serious self-reflection on your part, though, to take that in too. I mean, that was, you allowed for them somebody care about you to notice that and then say, oh, maybe this is something I need to address.
Right.
Well done.
Well, thank you both so much for being here today, but for all of the work and that 99.9 success rate. Just speaks to the work that you're doing and the difference that you are making in people's lives, and the community is better for it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All individuals have a right to a life free of abuse. If you or someone you know needs help, please call our 24-hour hotline, 417-864-SAFE, 417-864-7233, or chat 24/7 with an advocate on our website at myharmonyhouse.org. Visit our website or follow us on our socials to stay up on the latest news and events. This is Voices Against Violence. Thanks for listening.